everyone. We are on the road. It's pedicure day, so we are headed to get pedicures, because even if the mountain's on fire, you still have to have your toes done.
Have cute toes.
It's a rule, so I'm not going to stop my life. It could change my life if I lost my house, but I'm not going to stop my life. I'm going to go get a pedicure. Anywho. Alright, so just an update on the fire. There was a town meeting a few days ago, and things actually sound promising. It does not sound like we are going to have to evacuate. Obviously, things could take an ugly turn, but it's getting better. They know, they anticipate the weather, they anticipate the winds. It doesn't help them, but they also have ways to work through it. I won't say work with it, but work through it. So the update was when we had this meeting that there were actually 650 personnel on the mountain. Some of them come down to the town and sleep in the local park at night and eat, but some of them stay up there. They work 16-hour days, food is brought into them, and they sleep on the mountain right near the fire and get back up and do it all over again. I just can't even imagine. So we had a lot of state, county, local fire people who came in, and our county sheriff and his deputies came in, and they are really cracking down. They are even watching for people towing on the freeways to make sure that their chains aren't making sparks on the freeways. They will get pulled over. As of midnight, the night of our town meeting, you can't have any fires, not fireworks, campground fires, nothing. There cannot,
barbecues. You can't barbecue in your yard.
You can't even use chainsaws in your yard. There are no combustible engines of any kind. And if you're going to mow your lawn, it has to be done before 1 p.m. And then you have to be on fire watch for an hour after you do it. That's how bad it is. So the forecast has a little rain in it next week. I hope we really get it. It's been months since we had it. This is extremely dry. So we appreciate prayers. Please keep praying, even if our fire gets out or when it gets out. There are others across the West Coast, not just our state, though our state has been hit badly, but there are more fires than just ours. So please.
But one more thing that the people at the meeting said was that if anyone does ignore those warnings about no fires, no campfires, no barbecues, no chainsaws, any of that, and they do start a fire, that person will be held financially responsible for the cost of putting out the fire.
Yes.
Which could run into hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Absolutely. It's not even worth it to try. I mean, even to have a barbecue, it is not worth it. It is not worth all the pain of people losing their homes. Fortunately, in our area, nobody has lost a home, though there was an old cabin up on the mountain that was still used by a local family. Their family built it back around 1932. So that was really, even though nobody lived in it permanently, that was still really hard. That's a family heirloom, and they lost it all because somebody ignored the rules and decided to have a campfire up there, and they didn't put it out correctly. Or at all. I don't even know. They told us at the meeting, they can trace the fire back to where it started, and they know it's a campfire.
They called it an abandoned campfire, whatever that means.
Yeah, so they can find the source of the fire, and they know it was an abandoned campfire. They don't know who did it, at least last I heard, but they're going to try to find them. The hard thing is, unless somebody saw somebody there and got a license plate, that's hard to do. They go through trash is one of the things they do, but if the people took their trash, which I think in this case they did, then it's harder to find. But they are looking for them, and they will be fined, and they will pay for the fire if they ever get found.
And there could even be a jail sentence.
Yeah. It is not worth it to hurt people that way. And the other fires, people are losing their homes. Just so you can have a barbecue, that's ridiculous. You can make something else. So, anyways, it's not worth it. I have wondered if the people who left this abandoned campfire even realize they're the ones who did it, or if they just thought they put it out so it couldn't possibly be them. But that's the update. Things are looking better for us, but not necessarily across the West Coast. So we keep everyone in our prayers and hope that the firefighters are safe and that the fires get out. And hopefully we also pray for rain. So thanks, and we'll send you more updates.
Hi everybody. We're in the car. It's a little different this time. This obviously this is me, and there's Edie. You can see the back of her and the side of her in her hand now. I'm in the back seat. Why, you ask? Well, that's an interesting story. Last Friday, I was trying to hang some pictures of my grandkids in my bedroom, and I was trying to hang some above the mirror on top of my dresser, which is fairly high up, and I was on a two-stepper, and kind of to make a long story short, the two-stepper decided to flip over, and so I did too. And my sister Edie drove me to the emergency room and the diagnosis, I guess, is that I have 2 fractures in my knee, 1 or more torn ligaments, and something in my knee is not aligned correctly anymore. So here I am in the back seat. Let me see if I can show you. Can you see my leg brace? And over there are my crutches. Oh hey, while we're showing things, I made myself a new purse. I love the artist Monet, so I decided that I was going to make me a purse, and I made me a Monet purse. I am thrilled with it. Anyway, so we were on our way. We were going to be heading out of town this week anyway because we're in a craft fair, and so we were going to hit the road for that. And so the area where the craft fair is has a very good medical facility, and it's very highly rated. So, excuse me. So I decided, the ER doctor told me that I needed to make an appointment with an orthopedic surgeon. So I decided to make the appointment with an orthopedic surgeon at this medical facility. So I'm going to go there. We left our home a day early, and we're going to go see that doctor tomorrow. And then the craft fair is the next day. And we'll see what the doctor tells me about my knee. Anyway, so we've been thinking about this year and the things that have happened. You know, first we planted our garden, and then the grasshoppers just had parties all over the garden, and they invited their friends, and no matter what we did, we put out certain baits and things like that, and someone came and sprayed around the garden, not on the garden, but sprayed around the garden, hoping to get rid of grasshoppers, and nothing worked. And every time, nothing has grown, because if anything tries to grow at all, the grasshoppers go eat it down to the ground. So we've had that, and I know we've told you all that before, but then we thought that was very sad for us, and then the mountain by our home catches on fire, and we're under threat of evacuation. And the town actually was evacuated in 2010, and I know we've told you that story before as well. So we're having that hanging over us, and the garden now. And so then I decide to get on a two-stepper that wasn't all that stable, evidently, which was appropriate because I'm not either. But anyway, and it flipped over, and so did I. And now I have all these things going on with my knee. Now, someone could think, wow, I've really had a bad year. Why is everything happening to me? But you know what? Everything could be worse. With the grasshoppers, they haven't eaten the fruit on our trees yet. So we're good. We have pears and apples. We're good. Edie just had to hit the brakes a little hard there. Anyway.
Some truck was trying to pull into my lane. Don't do that.
I don't know if you heard what she said, but some semi, we're passing it now, was trying to pull into her lane. Please don't do that, buddy. Anyway, so we still have the fruit on our trees, and we're very thrilled about that. The fire. The fire on the mountain is getting more and more contained. The firefighters are now, the national or the statewide, national-wide firefighters are now leaving the town and going where they're needed more than there. There are a lot of fires in the west, and they've turned it over to the local authorities because it's getting more and more contained. The fire did not come into the town and we didn't have to evacuate, and none of the homes in town were lost. So there's the good news on that one. And the good news on my knee is that it could have been worse. I could have hit something else. I could have done much worse damage. Many years ago, our mother fell and hit her. She landed on her face and broke her neck, and it fractured her C1 vertebrae, which immediately turned her into a quadriplegic. The irony of that is that she was at the hospital picking up a handicap sticker for my dad, because my dad had Parkinson's. Anyway, she ended up being a quadriplegic for the rest of her life, but she died 5 months later in a care facility. So it could have been much worse. I just hit my knee. I look at my bedroom where I fell. I could have done so much more damage, and I didn't. So there's the bright side to that. You know, you just always have to look to the positive and the bright side of things that are happening. And be grateful. And I thank my Heavenly Father that He has blessed us so much this year. Even in the trials, there are still blessings. And I am so grateful for that. And so just thankful that none of this turned out any worse than it did. So anyway, that's kind of where we're standing right now. Where we stand right now is that, yeah, we've had trials. Yeah, it's been it's been a year, all right. But it could have been worse. And just thankful for what we have. And we're, like I said, now we're headed up to where we're going to do a craft fair. We'll take some video of that as well. And I'll let you know what the doctor says. We're going to go see him tomorrow. And, you know, just smile and be thankful. I think that's the message for this right now. And Edie, do you want to say anything?
Nope, have a good day.
Okay, she said nope, have a good day. So we will be back. We made it to the town where our craft fair is, and we decided to get a little something to eat, and this is what we got. We are at Famous Dave's. This is beef brisket, steamed broccoli, and fried pineapple. We're not going to eat the bread or the muffin. The bread was underneath the brisket, and Edie got the same thing.
So we get a little bit of a treat with the brisket, which isn't something we eat, but we stayed true with the pineapple and with the broccoli.
Yes. Anyway, just something that we do when we're out and about as far as food goes. That looks really yummy, and now we're going to dig in.